The following video contains content and/or language which may be considered unsuitable for younger viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Whoosh, bum 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 bum.
Previously on Dave Madson's LT Bloopers. Dave found himself locked in another power struggle with Sam. Mike tried to break up the struggle, but Sam called him an asswipe yet again, and Mike threw a violent tantrum that blew his head off, and sent Miss Madson and Dave falling through the rings. Mary cried over Mike's horrible state, and Cortana consoled her. Sam threw Scotty out again and called Mary a bitch, and she then fried him with her laser eye powers. After Sam and Mike were taken to the hospital, Athena arrived, bringing Henry, Kennedy, and Timothy along for the ride. Helena and Rowena Stoker appeared, inquiring about Sam. Anna told the Stoker sisters that Sam belonged to her, and Helena and Rowena warned that their sister Rowena will come to claim Sam. The Stokers then fired laser eye beams, but Anna and Zira used deflector shields to send the Stoker sisters falling back to their realm. As the episode was ending, Anna became teary-eyed over Sam's worsening condition. Zira comforted Anna, and Wanda informed the gang that the Angelus warriors will be watching over Sam at the hospital.
It's a comfort knowing the Angelus warriors will watch over Sam.
I'll help direct, Dave.
So will I.
Hi gang.
Mike, you came back. How do you feel?
I have occasional headaches, but the doctors say I'll be okay.
Sam's still in the hospital, Mike.
He's alive, but comatose. About 90% of his body is burned and the surgeons are working feverishly on a genetic remedy. We're helping out by shaving some stem cells for Sam's treatment.
They say it's a slow, drawn-out process.
Well, at least I don't have to worry about being called an asswipe for a while.
And I won't have to worry about being thrown out without reason.
This is Mitch Davidson with the Dave Madson Enterprises Inc. Special News Bulletin. Microsoft Mike returned to our studio after successful head transplant surgery. Microsoft Sam is receiving treatment for his burns. He is alive, but comatose. A spokesperson says the Angelus warriors are watching over Sam as prayers for his recovery continue. Updates will come as conditions warrant.
Raging again, Master.
Why the fuck most those members let me have Sam for myself?
We all get off when the Almighty and his so-called angel from us our right to claim souls without having to show evidence of guilt.
Debates and negotiations are meaningless now. Evil Dave, Evil Sam, and Evil Scotty, front and center. Yes, Master! At your service.
What is your bidding?
Microsoft Sam is in the hospital with severe burns, but those men sent the so-called Angelus warriors to guard him. Your mission is to go to City Hospital and fight him off so I can have Sam for myself. At your command, Master! And my spies tell me that Microsoft Mary is responsible for Sam's condition. I want her to.
Helena and Rowena Stoker are incapacitated at the moment, but their sister Rowena has informed me she'll return from the far-right rallies shortly.
Good work, Sharon. Once Rowena gets here, I'll send her to the Dave Madson Enterprises building. If she can't get sent, I'll have her bring Mary here, and then Dave will be next. Ha 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 ha.
Warner Disney? Was he any relation to Walt and Roy?
You don't get mad at bloopers like Sam always did.
That's because Cedric's not a control freak like Sam.
I just roll with the punches.
Warner Punch Pictures presents a refreshing drink production. Of the first winter film. Who needs Hawaiian Punch when you can drink Warner Punch? And it comes in 6 delicious flavors.
Strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime.
Warner Power Pictures presents
An electric production.
What do Looney Tunes run on? Warner Power.
Warner Punch Pictures presents a box office flop production. Burn the negatives.
And retain the positives. Positive film. Hog 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 hog.
Yeah,
Are you okay, Dave?
I'm just thinking about Sam.
I'm sure he'll get better, Dave.
The Angelus Warriors are watching over him.
All the times he cross-kicked me. All I can say is I don't miss them in the least. Swah 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 ruffle 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 ruffle.
Take it easy. RoboSoft 3. Stay cool. Ha. Oh. Tantrum in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, 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 damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, Sam, hurry up and get well before the powers of darkness get you, you ass like, 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 ass like.
Jeez Louise. Did you see that?
RoboSoft 3 threw a tantrum with the words printed on screen.
He's done that before.
And he also planted Beulah and Scotty in the ground.
And I heard Miss M threw a tantrum.
She did?
I got upset about Mary using her laser eye powers on Sam.
Sorry I made you throw a tantrum, Miss M, but I don't like being called a bitch. I wish I hadn't unleashed so much power on Sam.
That's alright, Mary. With the Angelus Warriors watching over him, he's bound to recover.
Holy shnikes! RoboSoft 3 can't control himself sometimes, can he, Beulah?
Don't worry about him, Scotty. Let's start digging our way out of here.
Later, after Beulah and Scotty dug their way out of the ground, and I, RoboSoft 3, apologized for my tantrum.
Microsoft Sam's burns are now an estimated 60% healed, and he is still comatose, but in stable condition. The Angelus Warriors, now joined by Angelo the Archangel and Angela the Angel, are now facing a stiff challenge from Evil Dave, Evil Sam, and Evil Scotty. And the notorious Rowena Stoker, sister of Helena and Bandita, and who just attended a far-right rally in Raffle City, has just arrived outside the hospital.
The Viacom V of Doom.
The Screen Gems S from Hell. The Mask of Shang. And the Klasky-Csupo robot.
What robot?
That is not a robot.
Not a robot?
The Klasky-Csupo logo was never a robot.
It's called a splat.
If you're looking for Sam, he's still in the hospital.
If those logos think they can menace us, they have another thing coming.
Good point, Scotty. Okay, rogue logos, take this.
Good shot, Mary. Now that's how to properly use your laser eye powers. Use them against your enemies, not on your friends. BP. Blood pressure.
Blood pressure my ass. I've come for Sam.
You can't have Sam. He's mine. and he's still in the hospital.
Ha 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 ha. You must be joking, Anna. Sam's nothing but a worthless, cowardly loser. Ha 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 ha.
No one calls Sam a loser and gets away with it. Take this.
Ha 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 ha. You're useless against me.
Useless? No one calls any of my friends useless and gets away with it.
So what?
So I'm going to bop you one.
Wow! One punch knocked that BP shield back through the rings. Cedric, you've got the power.
The dark forces don't know I can punch rogue logos in the face.
Hi Dave. I see you've had trouble with some rogue logos.
Mary sent the V of Doom, S from Hell, Mask of Gojang, and Klasky-Csupo splat back. And Cedric socked the BP shield back after it fended off Anna's laser eye beams.
We heard you and Angela the Angel were helping the Angelus warriors guard Sam against the dark forces.
What brings you here?
Do you remember the notorious Rowena Stoker?
How could we forget? She tried to break Sam and Anna up.
She's threatened to destroy the hospital unless Sam surrenders to her.
So typical of evil beings. Always wreaking havoc when they don't get their way.
The Almighty is on the scene, and he has two more allies aiding him, Jean Phoenix and Julia Nightingale.
Jean Phoenix is my mother. Julia Nightingale is my mother.
Jean and Julia have combined their powers and driven Rowena away from the hospital. Angelo the Angel will arrive here soon in case Rowena shows up.
I just heard there's a severe thunderstorm warning issued for the area around the hospital.
The storm is being generated by the battle, but don't you worry. We'll drive those dark forces back, where they came from.
Astro just told me he sent a new batch of deflector shields our way.
I just found them in the mail, Dave. There's one for each of us.
Thanks, Timothy.
Hi, Dave. Remember me?
Remember you, Rowena? Ever since you tried to break Sam and Anna up, we've tried to forget you.
Ha ha ha! Dave Madson, you flatter me. Now where's Sam?
He's still in the hospital and not seeing visitors.
It's all my fault. I zapped him with my laser eye powers, and that gave him severe burns.
So, you zapped Sam, huh? My master wants him, and now that he knows you zapped him, he wants you too.
Mary, did you remember the deflector shield I gave you?
Thanks for reminding me, Timothy.
Deflector shield, huh? Well, try to deflect this.
Merciful Minerva? Did you see that?
Rowena knocked Mary's deflector shield out of her hands with a karate kick.
And it smashed into pieces on the floor.
Does Astro supply stronger deflector shields?
Those were the strongest ones he gave us.
How could you, Rowena?
Now you get yours for what you did to Sam.
Mary, are you all right?
Ouch. I'm burned and bruised, and half my bones are broken.
I had a feeling this was going to happen.
Quite right, Dave. At last I have you for myself.
Get off of Dave this instant.
Who do you think you are to bully Dave and his friends around?
If your infernal allies think you can see Sam and Mary without proof of guilt, you're wrong.
If you don't stop your meddling, I'll shit all over Dave.
That's disgusting.
It only seconds the victims.
And cease and desist calling us meddlers. I have spoken.
You heard him. Be gone.
You pissed me off, Dave Madson. Arms away.
Gah! You're filthier than your sisters, Rowena. Ew. Ew!
That'll teach you to brush me off, kiddo. Ha 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 ha.
I warn you, Rowena, take this.
I defy you, I defy you, I defy you, I defy you, I defy you.
We've cleaned up Dave and also cured Mary of her fractures, burns and bruises.
You may resume your video. Thanks for saving me. I almost became Sam's roommate at the hospital.
And thanks for sending that sinister siren back where she came from.
You're welcome. Angela and I must return to the hospital to stop the dark forces from taking Sam.
And remember, we are always ready to protect you in times of trouble. Peace be with you.
And also with you.
I'm glad you pulled through, Mary.
Thanks, Mike. That Rowena must be a tough customer, Dave.
She's joined the ranks of those who are lusting after me, Rhonda, but you're the only one I want.
I love you, Dave.
I love you too, Rhonda. Will you marry me?
You bet I will, my darling.
Here's another special news bulletin. The electrical storm generated by the battle-pitting god, his angels, and the Angelus warriors against the dark powers knocked out power at City Hospital, forcing the medical staff to move its patients to a secret location. And this just in, after a long courtship, Dave Madson and Rhonda Raven are now engaged. This has been Mitch Davidson reporting.
Dave and Rhonda are engaged?
This is exciting news.
Amid all that's been going on lately,
it may as well be spring.
May I be the best man, Dave?
You certainly may, Cedric.
And I want to be the bridesmaid.
Of course, Miss M, but we'll have to wait until they release Sam from the hospital first. And they said on the news they moved all the patients to a secret location, because the storm knocked out power at City Hospital.
With constant praying, God and his angels will win the battle and it will come down the storm.
I feel a lot better now, but because of what Rowena did to me, I've lost all my powers, including the ability to fly.
Don't worry, Mary. You'll get your powers back.
But in the meantime, let's organize a party to celebrate Dave and Rhonda's engagement.
So those meddlers revived Mary. Well, I have a surprise for them. When I landed, I bounced right back. I'm going to join my comrades and make sure Sam gets to my master, and then I'll break up Dave and Rhonda's engagement and claim him for myself. Ha 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 ha.
Dave and Rhonda are now engaged, but will Rowena spoil the party? And can God, his angels and the Angelus warriors beat back the dark forces, restore power to City Hospital and save Sam? Find out in the next episode of Dave Madson's LT Bloopers.